Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered! Today it's going to be a match between Sky and Air here on Fighting Spirit. Figured I'd cast another PvP, got a lot of requests for it, so I chose two players with different names that are kind of the same thing. So Sky versus Air here in a PvP on Fighting Spirit. Top right-hand corner is the teal Protoss player. It is Air, under his Smurf name, Best 10 Stork. He also went by MBC, Luxury.Air, Ace, and We.Made. And at the top left, it is the red Protoss player, Sky. Alright, man, so Sky versus Air in a PvP. Here on Fighting Spirit, we're going to see Reavers, we're going to see Storm, we're going to see Dragoons. We're not going to see Carriers. There are some things we're not going to see here. Zealots, not super good either, but actually if you can jump on top of Dragoons with your Zealots, they're going to have a pretty decent time at the end of the day. So, fantastic showing here between these two players. Really can't wait to see it. It's going to be amazing. Air is asking about a game. Sky has some questions about his questions, and we're just all over the place right now. 5-pan. Don't know what that's referring to at all. Anyway, both players making a pylon because, duh. If you don't make a pylon, you can't make additional probes, and you're going to die. So, always be making pylons. There we go. Both players have them. Sky has some questions. Stork's either saying ooh, or there's supposed to be two eyes looking blankly back at Sky here. Oh, I called him Stork. It's not, though. It's Air. It is Air versus Sky here. Let's try to keep that right. And both players going for the gateway opening. Mirror matchup is mirrory. Surprise. Sometimes that is how that works. The mirror matchups are mirrors. So two gateways over here from Air, and then Sky, on the other hand, just has, in fact, the one gateway going for gas instead, which is not something that interests the teal Protoss player all that much at this stage of the game. So we have broken the mirror. The mirror is no longer intact. It has a crack in it, indicating earlier gas here from Sky, which will allow him to get Dragoons out faster, and a Cyber Core coming in for him, too. Still no Cyber Core out of Air, which I don't know that I agree with here, man. As I mentioned previously, Zealot's okay if they can get on top of the Dragoons, but until they have legs, honestly, both players are going for a single Zealot at this stage of the game, being annoying, but not otherwise really able to kill their opponents with this. I think it's really more preventative measures for both of them in case the Zealot shows up from the other guy. They want to be ready for it. Yeah, there we go. Ramp 1, and then I think we're going to ramp 2. Over here with this one gateway, making a Zealot, and by golly, it takes a long time for those guys to come out. It is like watching the paint dry. And there he is, sneaking on down as they like to do. Cybernetics core just about done here. Meanwhile, Pylon. Wow! Are you planning on just Zealot rushing your opponent's Sky here with all the Zealots in the entire world? Kind of feels like that's what we're doing. There's no gas, there's no Cyber Core at all. And this is where things can get a little bit dicey for Air. I mean, this can really work against Zerg. I've just never seen this work against Protoss. In fairness, I've not cast a lot of Protoss games. I just don't know this is really a super viable strategy here. So, probe scouting around does recognize, yes, Sky is in the top left-hand corner. Got ourselves a Dragoon in production. Got ourselves a robotics facility here, too. And there are Zealots ready to murder you, in case you were wondering about that. In case you were wondering, are we the right speed here? Were we down on speed a lot for the first couple of minutes of that game? You guys are probably noticing in how fast the workers were mining. And the walk speeds. Okay, that's too fast. So this is it. Wow, something happened. Sorry about that. Let's get this at the right movement speed. It felt a little bit sluggish, but again, Zealots without speed are kind of sluggish. So that guy has to get out of here because the Dragoon is pretty scary with the Zealot buddy, but guess who's here? More Zealot buddies. And yeah, this is looking a little bit more dicey for Sky. Have any zealots died yet in this game? I'm looking at it, and I'm not convinced any have. This zealot is full health, going after probes. That's super bad for Sky, so super annoying out of there at this stage of the game. I gotta admit. Oh, did you trap him? No, he jukes out. He jukes out. Fantastic job. There's even a probe here fighting away. And even probes fighting here for Sky. Look at him. He's like, well, if you're going to pull workers, and you're going to sacrifice this much economy to do this, then I'll probably have to pull some of my own probes here too. Shield battery. All right. We got a shield battery here healing up. Healing up these defenders as they're defending against these zealots. I love it. I love this play with the shield battery. Gorgeous. Still have 48 energy on it there. That's really nice stuff. Zealots still refusing to die. They're just the tankiest boys of all tanks here. And this is working a lot better than I thought it would. I must retract my earlier statement that I thought this was not going to be super effective, but more zealots are here. I've seen Bisu do this to a Zerg player before, just destroy his little soul. But I've never seen a Protoss on Protoss style before, and this is interesting. It's really working, I gotta say, from Air. He still has 5 zealots here. He's killing probes like a madman. Sky's down to 14 probes right now. Whoa, that was really quick. 3 zealots down, though. Really quick 3 zealots down. Another zealot down, but another probe down, too. This guy's got 4 kills. That's some pretty efficient killing, if you ask me. And Sky finally stabilizes. Just kidding. There's more zealots here, and honestly, all they should be doing is just trying to kill these probes. If I was him, just go right after the probes. Don't even worry about trying to kill the Dragoons at this point. Look at him healing up and re-shielding those guys. That's so good. Are you still doing this? No? All right. Dragoon production has begun. We're looking at 23 to 14 workers in favor of Air. Air is killing it right now versus Sky. He's in such a great position. He has the same tech that Sky does. He's got a better economy than Sky does. In fairness, there's a robotics facility here from Sky that does not exist on the other side of the map. But other than that, I'm thinking we're pretty good. Robotics facility on the way. Cybernetics core working on singularity charge for Air. And an observatory comes in with a robotics bay from Sky 2. Ooh, so he's going for some Reaver drops. That has to be what this is. There's really no other reason to go for that particular tech style. Anywho, back on Air's side of the map. Nothing too crazy happening. No proxies or anything. It's 44 to 31 total supply right now. It is a worker advantage, but it is an army pretty scary situation for Air here too. So he's going to get up here with his zealots, try to get some damage done. Trying to win here with his Dragoons, despite the fact that he's down in total Dragoon count. Getting some good shots off anyway, and once again, Sky has to pull probes to handle this. And continue to lose probes to handle this. Is Air going to win this game solely off the number of probes that die in the first 5 minutes of this match? Okay, all the Dragoons died. That's really bad for Air, and we still have 4 sitting here from Sky. So, army advantage is going to be a big deal. 41 to 35 overall at this point, but again, a lot of that is probes for Air. Still not expanding. I gotta say, at this point in the game is probably when you want to be expanding. If you're Air, is he sending a probe down? He's definitely not sending a probe down at all. Sky working on singularity charge. It is actually far, far behind Air's right now. Air has that range and Sky does not. But if they're not fighting, it doesn't matter. Okay, so where are we? Shuttle with the ability to make Reavers at some point. There we go. The bay is now warping in. Reaver production has already begun for Sky, so he's going to have a lead on that one. And Sky is setting up to expand, too. He's got a probe down in position to do it. Ooh, Stork sneaking in there, too, though. Stork trying to expand both players. Trying to... There we go. Sky does get his down. Air now. Little delayed. It's okay. We're fine. Okay, so we're going to see Reaver drops from both players. They're both going for the exact same tech. Reavers in straight-up battles are pretty good too. Actually, they can really wreck zealots and do a lot of damage to dragoons as well. So natural base timings are pretty darn even. It's 33 to 26 workers. Air had a nice lead, and not so much anymore. Sky's managed to come back quite effectively after winning a couple of those engagements. But Air's army is just pretty big at this stage. Overall, 65 to 48 total supply. Army value is higher right now, but the Reavers can be a bit of an equalizer depending on where they get their hits. Will Air get his off? Will Sky get his off instead? I don't rightly know. I don't rightly know. That's why we watch. That is why we watch this. Dragoons. Boy. I mean, a nice snipe on that observer, though. Ooh, so that means that Air Observer can actually sit over here and keep a good eye on things, whereas Sky is totally in the dark about stuff. All right, shuttle sneaking around this outer edge. Trying to maybe unload. Oh my gosh. That probe stack is so temptingly, deliciously. He wants it. Look at him go. Look at him want it right now. And no! Just like that, Sky is down to 23 probes. Ooh, he snuck that in. He snuck it in. That's what you get for having an observer up here. And killing Sky's observer. Oh, it's so good. Oh, Sky has a replacement one, and now Air's is in trouble. I'd pull back a little bit, my guy. Too late. Too late to do that. So it's 81 to 56 supply. That shuttle does get chased away. Getting a little bit greedy. He wants to go for another big-time hit. Can't really count on that, my dude. 39 to 26 workers right now for Air. That's disgusting. Big-time Reaver shots, though. Hey, Air. Maybe don't just get wrecked by Reaver shots 3 times in a row. Hey, how's that? Boy, Sky needed something like that to happen. And sure enough, it did. So, it's still a bigger army for Air, but he is pulling away, recognizing the threat that the Reavers pose to him. Shuttle sneaking around. Both players are going for faster shuttle movement. We see that in the production tab right now. Get out of here, you spy, says Air. A third base from Air would not really be unwarranted at this point, I gotta say. He is fully saturated on both of his mineral patches. Both of his mineral lines, rather. Expanding down this way would be good. Expanding here would be pretty stupid, probably. But Sky moving out. He's only down about 20 supply right now. His worker count is caught up quite nicely. And how are his upgrades? Does he have any, or are we just going on no upgrades like usual? Yeah, upgrades are for chumps in PvP. Although +1 attack is coming in from Air, so at some point he will have a bit of advantage that way. Trying to drop on in. Is this shuttle? Trying to find an angle. Might actually, honestly, here probably could pull it off. He's doing it. There's the unload. Reaver shot 1, Reaver shot 2. And Air is down to 34 probes. Oh my gosh. Reaver drops are the great weapon in PvP. Wow. That was disgusting is what that was. Air wants revenge. Look at him coming in right now. He's like, I have speed. Get out of here, probes. Get out of here, probes. Ooh, only... Okay, well, now the Reavers are actually holding on to this pretty effectively. Then able to be unloaded and escapes with like 4 HP on this shuttle. Total of 11. Sure, why not? So both players have taken massive hits to their economies at least once in this game. 36 to 42 workers. Air had a massive lead on economy, and it just was out the window, down the toilet with that one hit. PvT so volatile, or PvP rather, is so volatile. Kind of feels like Sky wants to expand down the left side. Kind of the same story over here for Air. The timing makes sense, at least. Again, I would have liked to see it earlier, but hey, what do you do? Reaver drops, slowing down all of your plans. Sky moving out a little bit here, pushing up on the third base that doesn't exist yet. Where's Air's attack upgrade? It's almost done. So he is going to have that +1 attack, which is really nice, but oh my gosh. The Zealot Reaver attack is really problematic. Ooh, that hit killed the cannon, but not the probes. Great probe pull there. That could have been disastrous for Air. I mean, he's already in trouble, only at 33 probes to 46 for Sky, but that could have been a lot worse, and as it stands, it looks like he is going to handle it here. The only advantage that Air really has here is +1 attack, which is nice. It's really nice. He is up 135 to 102 supply, too. So army supply is massively advantageous for Air right now. This has been such a back-and-forth game. Still no third base from Sky. Still no third base from Air. We're two-basing here at 15 minutes. And it's just the nature of everybody getting hurt as much as they have been. Air pushing in here. He's got his Reavers. Guess who's got defensive Reavers in the mix, though, too? It is Sky. We got Scarabs traveling back and forth across the battle lines, across this bridge. The upgrades are trying to do all they can here for Air, but it's 94 to 95 total supply. Air had an advantage and is somehow losing it. I think a lot of it has to do with this Reaver that is still alive, and Air has lost all of his Reavers and is really just trying to do this with Zealots and Dragoons, which is not going to work out against especially two Reavers and Cannons here. So not too shabby there, Reaver number 1 and number 2. I want to see how many kills you have. Don't pick it up. You picked it up. Ooh, hold on. This could be a big get. Okay, never mind. 2 kills and 6 kills on these Reavers. Yeah, man, Air had an advantage, but just pushed into a pretty entrenched position of Sky where he had a lot of Reavers himself, and Defender's advantage kicked in there. Oh, the control. Oh my gosh, the control there is disgustingly good for Sky. Did you see that? Keeping that shuttle alive, keeping both of his Reavers alive. That Dragoon is almost dead. Lucked out big time. Took 2 direct Reaver shots and did not die. Working on +2 attack, so +2 is even better than +1 if you're going up against somebody who has no upgrades at all. Still no third base. We're still looking at 33 to 44 workers. Both players are working on Storm, probably for Storm drops, if I had to guess. But yeah, the nature of this matchup is just that Reavers are good. And Reavers are a great equalizer, and Reavers cause problems for ground battles. So directly engaging is just not as good as it is in other matchups. Sky kind of poking in a little bit. Not really, not super interested, but we do have a decent Storm drop over here at Air's Natural. He's down to 20 probes. He's down to 20 probes, ladies and gents. Wow, long distance mining is Sky. So many probes have gone down today. I don't even... Wow. What are we looking at here? This has just been a probe massacre on both sides of the map. We're at 22 probes, 18 minutes into this game. Not the best Storms I've ever seen. Oh, that was it, though. That was the Storm. Air brought his guys back in too soon. Oh, my gosh. He's down to 11 probes to 44 probes from Sky. That was a probe massacre if ever I have seen one. Sky, making sure there are no sneaky expansions for air he needs to worry about. It's 121 to 78 supply. What a comeback. What a comeback from Sky in this game. Ooh, additional probe kills. 8 probes remaining. Guess who's getting revenge? Storm attacks. Okay, not super great. Fine. Not super great. It's 43 to 9 workers. Like, this game is over. I'm looking at it, and I'm saying this game is over. Sky needs to expand somewhere, put these guys to work instead of long-distance mining them. And is going to be in a much better position overall. Just keep Dragoons at all your mineral lines. You don't lose everything. Is that another... Sky gets another storm drop, and Stork is down to 7 probes. 7. Air is trying to win this thing through this one shuttle, but it's not going to happen, man. He's just dropping it down, dropping his High Templar in. Does he have enough energy to do anything? Nope. Definitely not. And that's it. That's got to be your GG. That is a 41 to 8 worker lead. Third base coming in. A DT going to shut that thing down. There's no way Air wins this game. There's just not. I appreciate the shenanigans with the Dark Templar. I appreciate his ability to drop and murder stuff, but if he wins this thing, it will be one of the most incredible comebacks in the history of StarCraft, and I would have heard of it. And I've never heard of Air before at all, let alone that he had this massive comeback against Sky one time. So this is a foregone conclusion, is what I'm trying to say here. Air has the upgrades, yes. He's got +2 attack. It's very nice. There's +1 rather from Sky, which is not as good. But at the end of the day, all that really matters here is that the army supply is massive for Sky. His worker lead is huge. His third base is warping in sooner rather than later. I like how Sky is still going for this. He's like, you know what? I haven't murdered my opponent nearly enough at this point. Look at the immediate pull. Like, as soon as that shuttle showed up, immediate pull. But every probe that dies is massively problematic for Air right now. Air, a big problem he had in this game was trying to attack into this bridge where it was entrenched for Sky. He had a lead, and that was kind of the start of the end for him. Is when he went in here and just got absolutely blown apart. I mean, sure, DT, I guess you could take down the Nexus if you wanted to. 38 to 15 workers. Stork is sort of, or rather, I keep calling him Stork because his name is Stork up there, but it's Air. Air is kind of trying to make a comeback right now, but it's just not going to happen, guy. Does he even have a shuttle for these Reavers? He doesn't have a shuttle for these Reavers. This seems less than ideal. So he's going to try to attack up here, which leaves him vulnerable to getting backstabbed, which actually, no. Sky is interested in just going for a front stab instead. Storming the ever-loving crap out of these Templar, or out of these Dragoons, is kind of working for him. Sky cannot just walk Zealots into here. He'll end up dead. Are we doing more of this, guys? Yep, we certainly are. Oh my gosh. Well, we're back down to 6 probes now. Sky is just not allowing Stork or Air to do anything economically at all. Anything at all right now. The storms have been pretty fantastic from Air. I'm not going to complain about those. Look who made his own DTs. Sky did. Aww. So adorable. There's no detection here from Air, and I think that might just be it for him. Oh, just kidding. He has an observer. He's fine. The Dark Templar are not going to end his day at all. High ground storm certainly might, though. This is kind of working a little better than I expected for Air, but it's 113 to 49 supply. I mean, the army that's here for Sky is not very big, but he doesn't really need it to be either. He has the high ground. Zealots are on top of the Dragoons. They have to micro back now. Archons are showing up to try to deal with the Zealots, which is what you want here. They're pretty good against things like Zealots and Zerglings and Marines if they can get close enough. And that's your good game. Air finally taps out. Asks for a rematch, and Sky says no. No, he says. Incredible. Incredible stuff. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this game, because it was a lot of fun for me. The probe death. It's some of the biggest probe death I've ever seen in my entire life. Looking at it, yeah, that probe count was 6 at one point for Stork, or for Air. God, it's Air. It's Error Brain. You got this. What an insane match. What an insane match there. Sky, convicted of match fixing, banned from StarCraft forever, one of the best Protoss players ever. Ridiculous. What a play. I mean, really, it was just economic. It was killing every probe that ever showed up here, doing some damage to the main base, but mostly wiping out everything that was in the natural base consistently and never really giving Air the economy to get a third base at all. And then just Reavers and Archons and Storm and DTs and Dragoons and defending, dealing with drops on the other side. And he gets the win. So Sky, fantastic display of just assassination of probes today. 119,000 points for Sky, 108,000 points for Air. Both players produced about the same number of units. Sky killed a lot more, and I gotta say that discrepancy is probably all about worker count, if you have to ask me. And then economically, Air does mine more gas, or just as much gas as Sky does. But at the end, Sky is able to mine more gas, more minerals, and spend about 3,000 more, largely because, well, he had more of an economy for the final 10 minutes of the game, no question about it. So it's a game of economy, as it turns out, more often than not in StarCraft. But end of the day, that's going to be it from me. So this has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch. All at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.